Where am I? Oh, we're on our podcast. That's where we're at. Welcome to the You're on the Ballpark podcast, episode number 109, live this Sunday night, September the 7th, 8 o'clock p.m. If you're joining us on Facebook, if you're on X, or if you're on YouTube, we thank you that you are here. And Darren, thank you for jumping on with me. And we kind of put in the title of this video, what happened this week, not just in sports, what happened with everything. There was some wacky stuff going on. Perhaps, but right after the holiday weekend. So we're going to talk about it. So this will be an all over the place episode. I love those kinds of episodes. But Darren, share a little bit about how your weekend was going and how you're doing, that sort of thing.
Well, all my teams lost.
All of them. Yes.
But except for the Chargers did beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a good call right there. That was a very good call. And I was very happy to be wrong with that score. I really was. Not that it's not that I want the Chiefs in the playoffs, because it's better when you have, whatever. It's just they're not going to start 11-0. They're 0-1. I'm sure they'll be 11-5 by the end of everything. All will be right with the world. But I thought that was super cool that that Chargers played so well. And I did get to see the entirety. So the only game that I could see with my whatever was the Bucks-Falcons game, which had an awesome ending. It was kind of slow slow till the end. Everything went wrong and missed extra points, which could have cost Tampa. Wound up not, because Koo made a bad kick and missed at the end of the game, 44 yards out. And so Tampa gets a big road win, divisional road win for them. So that's really, really big. Of course, anytime you win a division game, is huge. And Mike Evans really wasn't a factor. They had a rookie receiver with 2 touchdown passes that Mike Evans mentioned is the best rookie he's ever seen in terms of preparedness and stuff. So I thought that was super cool. But Darren, before we mention our proud sponsors over at National Tax Solutions, I would like to let everybody know that is watching. And if you're just joining us right now, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Turn notifications on that we are, that way you can always tell when we're going live with the video. But an opportunity. So as you know, with the season that is upon us, the spooky season that is upon us, our channel has been invited to a couple different events, which I'm hoping to be able to make a couple of those along the way. So looking forward to that. But I got an invite this coming Friday to go to a place called Petrified Forest, and this is one of the of all the events. This is probably one of the largest events. So I was really excited to get the invite for this one. But I'll share here, and unfortunately, my screen's doing that wacky thing here where it's not letting me see what I'm sharing. So Darren, if you wouldn't mind, can you kind of read a couple of the highlights from what you're seeing?
Sure. There's a media day on Friday, September 12th from 9 a.m. to 1. And what we're going to see, and this is awesome for us here and around the ballpark and those of you who watch us, a guided daytime tour and a first look at select scenes from our 3 all-new trails. Love that. A behind-the-scenes look at our makeup and wardrobe trailer. The secret how the sausage is made, kids, including sneak peeks at some of the costumes being made for the 2025 season. Inside a Q&A with managers and builders, an opportunity for photos and videos. So people, this is pretty big stuff, my friends. So,
yes, super cool. The event actually doesn't open until October. So the fact that we get an opportunity and great for getting to meet some other, personalities, I'm sure will be there as well. So that'll be great to kind of just get to know some of them and
the community is great. The podcast community and what we do, they're great people.
Yeah, I'm super cool. So I've got a couple screenshots. Again, I can't see them for whatever reason. So Darren's going to be my MC. So I appreciate it. So I don't know the order that they're going to be posted in here.
Sure.
But what do we got there?
That looks like a location. That's a map.
Okay, that's the map. And so that is where this event is going to be.
1360 East Almonte Drive.
It's not too far from Orlando, actually. So that's a close one there.
Oh, very nice. Oh, get the prices. Pretty reasonable, my friends. Tickets for Petrified Forest, the Landlord, one admission to all 3 scary trails. The Trespasser, $34.98. The Urban Explorer, one admission to all 3 scary trails plus a backstage tour. And then the Tenant, one admission, 3 scare trails, a backstage tour, and laser tag. You got to love all of that.
That's super cool. It's not just the houses themselves. Yep, you got that. And 2 more slides here.
Yes, and they've expanded all the trails. I'll be one of the first to witness, so you can get tickets October, November. There's a schedule starting on the 3rd of October, 4th, and then you have a special night on the 15th. The 12th, you have the blood moon. You have the total eclipse on 22nd, and I'm not talking about Bonnie Raitt, total eclipse of the heart. And then there's just a lot going on there for people. Love it.
Yep, and we here at Around the Ballpark.
There's an escape ride. Love that.
Yes, that is super cool. And us here at Around the Ballpark, we're also invited to Media Night on Saturday, October the 4th at 6 p.m. So that's going to be a VIP media pass. We'll be able to get opportunities for selfie-style filming in the trails. One thing that they like to do is they prefer to get the reactions of the scares rather than show everything. Like we can show a couple snippets here and there, but they prefer the front facing. So that way they get our initial, instead of like showing the whole thing and then people don't have to go because they've already seen what it looks like, of course. And then the last one here, this is kind of like their money shot on the website in terms of the event. So
I like this.
Super cool. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I want to take the day off because why not? So keep an eye out for, I'm sure, I don't believe I'll be going live because it's kind of hard to I may do like a small little couple minute thing live, but there'll be more of a video that we'll post after the fact. So, but yeah, so super excited
That's
for
great
that
news.
Yeah, super cool. So looking forward to that. But Darren, as I mentioned, if you wouldn't mind, before we talk about shenanigans and all the losses we had today, you can share a few words from our sponsors over at Nashville Tax Solutions.
Fort Pierce and Palm Bay, are tax problems weighing you down? Are you behind on filings? You're facing a lien? Nashville Tax Solutions here with the expertise and dedication that you need. Their experienced team handles the IRS so you don't have to. But don't just hear it from us. The clients of Nashville Tax Solutions say it best, such as Chris Bennett and his team turned a nightmare into peace of mind. They're sharp, they're honest, and they truly care. So don't let tax stress take over your life. Call 855-627-4829 and visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or just email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com today. Nashville Tax Solutions, real help and real results.
Yes, thank you, Darren, and thank you, Nashville Tax Solutions, for all that you do. And speaking of results, I thought we might just kind of recap a little bit of today's NFL action. As I mentioned, saw the Falcons Buccaneers game on your end, but talk a little bit about that Jets Steelers game, because here's the thing, like, it stings. I'm sure it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
There was the you mentioned in your video on social media about what could have been avoided and basic fundamentals that we learned. At the end of the day, I would say maybe by Tuesday, the reality is going to sit in like, hey, you have a quarterback.
Yeah. No doubt.
32 point. So most teams are going to go 1-1. You hate to lose a game of this magnitude, but if anything, this isn't, you don't, if you have a 14-9 win at Steelers, that's one thing, but you put out this kind of effort, they're going to take the Jets seriously. Actually, Tampa's first home game is against the Jets, so I'm sure that'll be really good. So your analysis, if you had maybe put a positive spin on things.
It's very interesting because, as you know, I played 4 years of college football, and then I coached collegiate football. And believe it or not, if you noticed, I wasn't trying to be negative when I say doing Jet things. The defense needs to tighten up. When we needed to stop, we really didn't get it. We got it right before that last one. And listen, tip of the hat, a 60-yard field goal. I mean, that's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But you've heard the term, right? You've played sports, and you don't mind a physical error. It's the mental error. It's you just went up by 9 points.
Yep.
Secure the football. You have to have that ball away from the person who's coming to you. So if you're running left, it needs to be in your left hand. You're running right, it needs to be in your right hand. The Giants are not very good. Hopefully they'll get better. That changed the game. But I am very happy. I mean, we got the Bills, we got Tampa Bay. I mean, in the first couple of weeks, and we can go 1-2 or 0-3 and still make the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. We have a quarterback. We have a running back. We have a wide receiver. I love our offense. The defense needs to step up a little bit, but they should. So this was a disappointing loss, but I feel really good about the team. Make no mistake of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of, as New York sports is, a lot of finger pointing. This, what could have been done, whatever. But like you said, they've got the division. Miami showed today that they're not. How do you put PG on? Get the bed.
No,
they didn't show up today. Yeah,
they did not show up today. They might have looked at the calendar and they'd be like, "Oh, we start this week," because they were not prepared to play an NFL game. They looked horrible. Now, Let me ask you this: without being that individual, do you think their coach is on the hot seat? Because they looked lost.
Yeah, I think by week 4, I think you got to give it at least a quarter of the season. But yeah, this soon, I think they have to be, because there was a lot of high expectations going into the season. I thought they were going to go 3-0. I'm pretty sure that was a game we picked, I believe.
We booked it. Yeah, we booked it.
I didn't do so well week 1. Yeah,
no, neither did I. No,
not at all. But I mentioned let's go Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks look good. I'm so happy for Baker Mayfield. He's such a good quarterback.
He is. He's really good. And unfortunately, he was other places, didn't work out so well. But he's, he's able to identify in that moment, like, okay, the yard line that I need to get to, I'm going to get to that and he assesses everything so quickly and can get there. And he's not afraid to use other targets. Mike Evans, I would just throw the ball high every time today. He was more of being used as a deception, I think, and it wound up working in their favor.
That's exactly what it was. That was perfect.
I think the downfall of Atlanta today was they abandoned the run. They did 61 yards and a score so quickly into the game, and then they just stopped running the ball. And when they did run the ball, it was obvious they were going to be running the ball. So they really kind of abandoned their run so quickly tonight today for some reason. So that was a bit disappointing for them. Carolina Panthers, I was very high. I picked them as well. They poo-pooed today. They made Jacksonville look great. Bryce Young did not look good. It was 26-10. And as always, Carolina starts the season behind the 8 ball. It's difficult when you live in a house with someone who's a Bucks fan, same division, and the team's closer, and it's like, let's just be a Bucks fan. I can't do that, but it's just when you start off 0-1 and you look that bad compared to how
I gotta say that was seriously the biggest disappointment. Now I was disappointed that the Jets lost, but I was very happy with the way they played. I was disappointed with Carolina because I really believe they're ready to make that next level jump, but they were not ready today.
Yeah, not at all. What team impressed you the most? If you had to kind of look at the whole spectrum thing, what team really impressed you today the most? Would you say
today? The Bucks.
The Bucks. Okay, that's fair.
On the road against a tough Atlanta team, and they played very, very well. And they won. And by the way, you know who else looked pretty good today? I know the Giants aren't very good, but Washington looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, sports fan, good call. Good call. The Lions did not look good today at all. They were, and when Goff threw the interception late in the first half, that game was over. They left and looked defeated. And shame on, when I say shame, I don't really mean that. Their coach did not have them jacked up for the second half of the game. That game was over at the half.
Yeah, it really was. And, with his good, how many games did they lose last year? 2, and now they're already at 1. So, I mean, Green Bay did look really good today, though. I do have to say that. Just kind of looking over things and stuff. And some of these finals I'm just kind of seeing right now. Not much happening with Rams, Texans there, low scoring game. And that one, the Browns losing by 1 to the Bengals, typical Browns, just, breaking hearts for sure.
And Cincinnati always struggles early in the season,
Yeah. Yeah. And we could chat a little bit about that Brazil game with the Chiefs and the Chargers. Chargers, a huge win, sacrificing the home game to play in Brazil, but they, entertaining. Chiefs really didn't get going right off the bat, and the Chargers did. So that was a difference in that one for sure. So an interesting week one, to say the least.
I'm not going to lie to you. I kept waiting for the referees to give it to the Chiefs somehow, some way,
Yeah.
And it didn't happen, which was very nice to see, because I thought that they were going to game the system for the, somehow the Chiefs to win. And I'm really glad the Chargers won for that reason.
Yeah, for sure. And we got the big one tonight, of course. It's about to start right now, the Ravens and the Bills.
What a game.
What a game, because the defense, everything everything about that game is going to be amazing. And then you got Vikings and Bears tomorrow night for Monday Night Football. Interesting, I saw that Monday Night Raw is actually going to start airing their episodes at 7 p.m. instead of 8, because they always struggle this time of year. Even if it's a bad Monday Night Football game, it's tough to compete. And with them being on Netflix, they can really do whatever they want. They don't have to. They can go on at 5 if they wanted to.
That makes sense.
So that'll be interesting, because it makes sense. You get people to start with Raw. If they have a great enough show, then maybe they'll stick with it a little bit and whatever. So, but yeah, so that's yeah.
No, so I have to ask you, because I thought about we were going to come on today. What happened to the Mets
today?
Yeah, the whole weekend. I mean, those 2 out of 3.
So first and foremost, they were playing a team that's not as good. So they always they always lose those kind of series for whatever reason. Today's game didn't bother me at all. Like, I didn't not winning today. When I look at winning 1 of 3, that bothers me. But yesterday's loss bothered me. Today's loss did not bother me.
Oh, I agree with
only
that.
Only because he had a no-hitter going in the 5th inning. Or sixth inning. Could you imagine what would have happened if 4 more innings and had a complete but this is the first day the offense looked mediocre. The offense has been tremendous. I was sad to see Vientos not in there, but they had let him play every day. So I made a joke with some family yesterday, does Ronnie Mauricio, does he even dress anymore for the games? Because he doesn't ever get to do anything, which I'm not upset about, but at that point, why is he on the roster? I think I saw somewhere if they held him to a certain day, then they control him a little bit more or something next year. So that's why they didn't send him down, something like that. So obviously they got a lot of things to get right in that bullpen. There's more people that you don't want to see than people you do want to see. So today's loss was tough, but usually the offense would pick them up. If you're telling me the Mets are only giving up 3 runs, they're going to win most of those games. What really makes me nervous outside of the bullpen is that they're 0-59 after 8 innings and 0-40 something after 7 innings. That's a little alarming, because how many comeback wins, walk-off wins are we used to? And this year, their walk-offs are because of tie games, not because they were down a run. Not even 1 run down, they're not even coming back from. So
but even Friday night, I mean, we go to a 5-0 lead, and then Diaz has to stand on his head to get out of bases loaded, nobody out, on Friday night, and which was lovely and wonderful and great. But boy, how nervous are you about the Giants? I'm very nervous about the Giants.
Yeah, I'm more nervous about the Giants than I am the Reds, for sure. I know the Reds just took 2 out of 3, but the Reds will crap the bed against whoever they play next, I'm sure.
Yep.
But with the Giants, you can't help but think about Drew Gilbert and what he's been doing, and that we had him, and granted, the guy that we got for him is one of the better relievers overall. So, but you do go and go, okay, crap, this series with the Phillies, this is talk about a brutal 10-game road trip in terms of importance. I mean, to now have a 4-game series with the Phillies. Now, granted, they swept them back in Citi Field, but that's going to be tough. So I think I'd want to see 3 out of 4. McLean's pitching tomorrow. I was really excited because you had Tong, you had Sprout, and then you have McLean going. I was like, win. But sometimes we got to remember they're rookies and all that stuff. But if McLean can go 5-0 tomorrow, I'm feeling good. I'm nervous to look at who the probables are for Tuesday. It's probably Minaya at this point. But is Senga the guy that you would have sent down, or would it have been Minaya?
Senga.
I agree. Yeah.
Because
I think Senga's more important for us down the stretch. Like, we need Senga to be Senga. Senga was a 1.64 ERA before his injury with a 7-2 record. That's amazing. And now he's not even a shell of himself. Like, he's just just everything's off completely with him. So it's been tough for sure.
Oh no, yeah, and the good news is this. I would love a 3-1 against the Phillies. I'd love a 4-0. But I'll even take a 2-2. And then they play the Braves, right? 3 games or 4 games?
3, I believe. Yes.
And take a 2-1 against them, come back, and just head home, right? Because right now you're going to have to look. I would love to win the division, but that looks kind of like, let's just get into the playoffs now.
Yeah.
So we have a 4-game lead right now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. 4-game lead. But what stinks is now we were literally tied with the pot. Not that second versus third seed matters, but now we're 2 games back again for the second wild card.
I wanted to finish 2-1 in wild card. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because now either way, I mean, as it stands now, Padres and Mets both would be on the road. However, as odd as it seems, though, right now, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if things end the way that they are exactly right now, I think us facing the Dodgers in the postseason first round is not as scary as us facing some other teams. Which
no, it does not scare me at all.
Yeah.
You know who scares me the most?
Milwaukee. Yeah. Yep. Especially the chip on the shoulder after what happened last year.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah. So that is interesting with the for the Tampa Bay Rays, man. They battle all the way back to 1.5 games out of the wild card. Now they got swept by the Guardians, so now they're 3 losses in a row, I believe. So not that they legitimately have a chance, but they do this to you. They get your hopes up, and then they
still can.
Whatever. Yeah, they still can. Texas is a game and a half back. Royal, so there's still a couple teams in there. For that, the Mariners is a team that kind of went back down in terms of where they were. So, but it's going to be a fun month for sure. I'm nervous, man, about that final series in Miami with the Mets and Marlins. I don't know why, but that's
because they always bounce us.
Yes, every single time. It's such a shame. But they do. It's true.
But I mean, why do you think we struggle against inferior teams? And how much blame does the manager get?
Yeah, I think the manager, he looks at it and goes, okay, let me get my guys in there. He's due to pitch. It's been a couple days. I know he's, got an 11 ERA, but, down 3-2, that seems to be when we should bring him in the game. And so it's the mismanagement of the bullpen. I think he's looking at it as like, okay, this isn't the Phillies. This isn't, Milwaukee. Let me get this guy in here and not put them in the other series. And that's not the way at all to go. Because, if you're hesitant to put a guy in, he should be on your roster. I don't care how many options he has left and all that sort of stuff.
100%.
When do you think we see Helsley next? Like, he's obviously not getting sent down because I don't think he has options or whatever. But, like,
I think now you only see him in the mop-up role. And that's it. Because he is terrible. I mean, Santa Claus at him. I mean, he's just
yes. Yeah. What do you call it? I think that it's Stanek. That was another thing. Like, I was talking with Ed and Tom about that. Like, how do you put him in 4 games in a row?
Why?
That's like he started turning the corner. So why do we chance it with a 4th game when you had so many other options available? I didn't understand that at all. That was a bit ridiculous. So, but I wanted to tell you about one of the things that happened with my weekend. So I was supposed to go, which I did, to see the UCF Knights last night in
nice.
Orlando to face East Texas A&M. We made the drive there with our friends, and we pull up to the parking lot. It's downpouring. And so we're like, okay, we can't even get out of the car, because normally what you do is you park in this parking lot, you get on the bus, and then once you get on the bus, they take you to the field, and then you walk a little bit, but it's all complimentary, the parking and all that kind of stuff, the bus ride and stuff, which is cool. You get on the bus with other fans, and then you get to kind of like, they have like food trucks and stuff before the game, and it's a great time. Well, with that downpour, we're not going anywhere. So we're checking the radar, because we know in Florida, you got to check the radar. That's the best way to tell. So many people will look outside and go, oh, I can see the clouds. They're clearly going that way. So we'll be fine in about 8 minutes. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. So we waited an hour in the car. We didn't move. And it did say that it was an 85% chance all the way through 9 p.m. The game was supposed to start at 7. And we had church the next day and stuff. So we made the very difficult decision after waiting an hour that this was not stopping anytime soon.
Right.
So we made the difficult decision to drive back home and not go to the game. Halfway home, we got notification that they were going to go on just after 8 o'clock, which we were like, I don't know about that. They did wind up starting about 8:15. So I did get home to watch the entire game at home on the couch. So I was happy I still got to see the game. I did see that the players it wasn't pouring, but they were significantly wet while they were playing the game. So I know I probably would have been miserable getting home at 1.
No, that's not fun.
No. So as much, as a bummer that we couldn't keep we still went, we tried, and it would have been great. I think it was like 63 to 7, because it was a no name team and everything like that. Their next game, I believe, is against UNC, which will be interesting. Bill Belichick's UNC, which hasn't fared too well this season.
No, they look terrible.
Yeah. Did they play? What do you call it?
Let me find out.
Yeah. So they did win yesterday, but they played I think a no-name team. That
Little Sisters that are poor, right? They play.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So their next UCF has a bye next week, but then September 20th they're hosting, or UCF hosts UNC. So that'll be interesting.
I love college football.
Yeah, I do. And what's funny about it is, like, as I'm watching the Bucks game today, before that last good couple minutes, I'm like, a win is a win. In college football, a win is not a win. Like,
no, you're right. Great point.
Like, you could look at it and go, okay, let's put all the backups in. It's already 60 to whatever. Like, you have to put the hammer down, because as weird as it sounds, it could come down at some point going, they only scored 40 against who instead of 60, and those kind of things will make a difference on which bowl that they go to. I mean, there's so many bowls. I would love to know. I'm gonna have to research this. How many bowls are there in 2025? So I'm gonna ask you that without you looking. I just found the answer, but what would your guess be on how many bowl games there were?
43.
Wow, very close. 47.
Ooh, hey.
And it's still a little bit confusing. We know that there's a playoff system and stuff, but it's not 5 versus 6 and 7 versus 8. It could be 12 versus 22. Like, it's all over the place and get very confusing if you don't know what's going on. But what do you call it? What is in your area where you're at? Like, what's the closest like big college football thing?
So I went I went one time a couple of years ago. Boston College right now is the closest for me. And, they play Georgia Tech. I mean, it's some good football.
Yeah.
But, my goal is to get out to Notre Dame. I got to do that. Now, I've been to West Point to see Army play, which is nice. But Boston College is probably the closest.
Boston College. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think where I'm at, there's so much Florida teams with college football. I'll tell you a team that looks really, really good is Florida State, and I know who they just played was no name this week, but to do what they did against Alabama, and now they look. This is a team that can run the gauntlet, I believe. I know, again, no name team this week, but that's a team to definitely watch out for. Florida State for sure. They look really, really good. A lot of upset people. Florida.
What about speaking of that? I wish I could speak tonight. What about Florida losing? That was shocking.
To USF, I believe, right? Yeah, that was very surprising for sure.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. That is what it is. What do you call it? I did see that. So this kind of moving on for a few minutes from the sports world. I did see my son Aiden came out of the room. He's really excited. Going into the film for a minute, saw that he mentioned there's a Supergirl movie coming out in 2026. Supergirl,
yes, there is
tomorrow, so he was really excited about that. I did see the series. Did you ever keep up with? Because there's so many. Like when those kind of series got hot, they were making them like pancakes.
Oh yeah,
and I was really big into the Flash TV series, but
so
then
I liked it.
Like it was like the forward and the backward and the sideways and Earth 17 and Earth 82, and it got a little bit ridiculous to try to keep up with. But so that's kind of exciting. Supergirl movie coming out. I think it's called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Yes, and in fact, at the end of did you watch the Superman movie? The one that
I did not, surprisingly.
Okay, so I'm not giving anything away, but
okay.
There's a teaser at the end. If you watch way through the credits, Supergirl shows up.
Really?
Yep. And oh, speaking of movies, I went to a movie this weekend.
And what was that?
So I saw Jaws yet again, but also I saw The Conjuring 4. So I saw that nice horror film. Was it not a musical?
It was not. Okay. Was that the Monday Night Mystery, or was that?
No. It was just was out, and one of my clients wanted to see it, so I took one of my clients to see it, and it was very, very exactly what you thought it would be. That's all I'll say.
Yes, yeah, I imagine so. Getting excited too in the TV series front. Believe it or not, I believe the entire cast is in their 60s now, but Stranger Things comes out next month.
Yes, that's gonna be good.
It starts, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas or Easter or New Year's or something like that. But so it's not the whole season, but it starts next month. I have to rewatch everything because it's been at least,
I do the same.
Yeah, it has. It's been 5 or 6 years. You have to at this point.
Yep, because you just want to just get ready, and you want to make sure you're not missing any nuance or anything like that.
Yeah.
If they could reboot any other TV show, which one would it be?
Any TV show in that
ever in your life?
Or?
No, in your life. Understanding age is important, so it's not like, well, in the 60s they did,
Yeah. Any show.
Yeah.
For me, that's easy. I'm not going to pick even one of my favorites because, this is one of I like this one a lot, but I think you can always redo it in a way. I thought so put it out. Have you ever seen the show Bloodline on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Friday Night Lights is the one that I would like to see the reboot of. I just love the whole principle, everything. The cast I thought was phenomenal on the television show. The lead actor was amazing. He was also in Bloodline. I would love to see that brought back to life again. I know they had the movie, they had the show, but so many careers spawned from that series, and it was an awesome watch. I really, really would love to see that one more time. So that would be my answer.
Mine is kind of weird. I really enjoy the show Shoresy, which is a spinoff from Letterkenny, the show Letterkenny. I would love for Letterkenny to come back, and not as a series, even as a reboot, just like you mentioned earlier, a little holiday show every once in a while, or, like a summer, like just a check-in. What's going on with these characters? I would love what's going on with these people, just because you feel good when you watch it. You remember those good memories of this or that.
Yeah.
So, I also go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to ask you, did you, what do you call it? So I was on Netflix the other day, and I was just, how, you're just hoping that feels like they're in spurts, like there's 2 months of absolutely nothing that's interesting. And then out of the blue, there'll be like 5 or 6 things. And you're like, cool, So the one that I'm going to put on the screen here, I want to see if I watched this in its entirety. Have you got a chance to see this?
Not yet, but I want to. Was it as good as it looks?
Yes, it was. And the result or the what happens or whatever is completely not in your mind at all. Like people can say, "Oh, I knew that was gonna." No, that you didn't know. It blows your mind that how the direction that it went, and man, like the fact that something like that could happen is just, you want to believe that you can be smart enough to notice certain things, but I can't say much more because you haven't seen it. But
I will say thank you for the tip.
Yeah, definitely. Like what the crap,
right?
For sure. So, but what were you gonna say before?
So I wanted to ask this. I know we'll be closing somewhat soon or whatever, but I don't want to forget to ask you your thoughts on the passing of Davey Johnson.
I know Howard Johnson took it really, really tough. I saw in some of his posts, it was really emotional. In some regards, like because you can say like, oh, because they won the World Series or whatever, but I'm not saying that the Mets have not had a good manager since Davey Johnson, but like I feel like it's just like let's try this guy. Like I feel like he was the last great manager that the Mets had, and to be in the shoes that he was in the game when they're down 2, they're down 2 outs, nobody on, and just to see his excitement because you see so many managers that they just sit on the step and win or lose, they just have the same expression, and he just seemed to get it. He was a fan. He's a manager, but he's a fan. They played for him, I just it's never easy to see someone's passing, and I know he's a little bit older and all that sort of thing, but when those kind of people pass on, it's like one dagger at a time. Like that's the first one, and then what happens when we see the next one and the next one, because we hold 86 so near and dear, so
I found what Keith Hernandez said about Davey Johnson. Did you get a chance to hear what he said?
No, I did not.
So I'm just paraphrasing. So they were talking before the start of Saturday's game about the passing of Davey Johnson. And he said, listen, I came to the Mets at a really critical part of my career. He said, all the personal things. He said, when you're a really good player, and I loved how he was talking. He said, when you're a really good player, he said, and you win a batting title, and you won a World Series, and everybody knew that my relationship with Whitey Herzog wasn't great. He says, and then there's this expectation when you're considered one of an elite player. He said, but there was a game, and he said, I don't know, 83, 84. And he said that I had a good hit or I was having a good game. And I'm sitting at the end of the bench. And he said, Davey Johnson came over to me and said, do you know you're really good? He said, I don't care how good you are, but when you have somebody reaffirm that, they don't realize you still need to hear that every once in a while. You just need that. And he said, that's who Davey Johnson was. And then Ron Darling said, look, I played for the man for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. He said, because he played for him in the minors and the majors. He said, it was always a professional relationship. He said, you want to know how I feel about Davey Johnson? He said, I took the mound playing for Davey Johnson as a starter 260 times.
And you said exactly it. He played for his manager. They're never going to say it in interviews, whatever. Nobody's playing for Carlos Mendoza. They're playing for the city of New York and for their own, because for each other. I have no doubt that they're playing for each other.
Right.
But yeah, that's yeah. But what was I going to say? What is your speaking of 86 real quick, because outside of the whole Mookie and Bill Buckner, is there one other moment that really stands out of that 86 series to you? Or
the World Series?
Yeah.
Yes. The fact that most people don't realize this. The Mets were losing 3-0 in the 6th inning of Game 7.
Yeah. That's gets completely overlooked. I'll never forget the visual of who was it, Oil Can Boyd, where he's like, I'm not pitching tomorrow, whatever, and then But I would say for me, and there's a couple moments, in some, and anytime they're facing, there were moments that the Red Sox, like it was unhittable, like to some of the pitchers that they had on that team, and you just kind of knew, like, once they won that Game 6, like, okay, we're taking Game 7. It didn't quite start that way, like you mentioned, but I don't know. For me, this moment here was big, because if he catches that ball, if he catches that ball, everything would have been different. But
no, it would have. But you know what? We were lucky that he had on a raincoat, but no glove. We were lucky. Because look, he got there. He just did not have his glove on. So.
Yeah, that seems like a Mendoza decision.
Yes, and kids, could you go back to that photo for a second?
Yes, it's and this is not doctored, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not. And just look at his left hand. Are there 9,000 fingers on his hand?
Yep, he's special. I'll just say that.
Listen, and he has that look of amazement. I love it. He thinks he's getting there, and then he forgets that he's not wearing pants for a glove.
And what's incredible about him is he's always seems to be relevant, like, to what we're talking. It just
I love it.
He was everywhere. I think that's why him and Chris Bennett get along so well, because they're everywhere.
They really are.
So, really, really are.
I'm such a fan.
Yes, me too. And I hope
wouldn't it be great if somebody was holding him in the dunk tank on December 20th?
Yeah, we have a Paddington Bear. I noticed in our preschool class, I was kind of tidying up in there, and there was one just sitting in one of the cubbies. I was like, what? Okay.
He's following me to work.
Yes, everywhere. But yeah, this week has been as September continues, not just in the sports world, things are going to amp up. Personal life as well. There's so much going on. So I look forward to these little breaks to kind of just have fun and just chat about things before we get in hustle and bustle, because it's, I never wanted to be that person. That's why I love working at home, I think, compared to an office where I was, because you have those monotonous conversations where you're like in an elevator and it's like, is it 4:30 yet? Ha ha ha. Or is it Friday yet? Or, just, and it's just, you have to stop, react. Like, you almost want to say nothing because you can't give into it, because it's just
because if you do, you're going down. I know exactly what you're saying. That was the toughest thing for me to go back to an office, was exactly that.
Yeah.
No
definitely.
Extemporaneous conversations I did not want to have.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, like you show up on a Monday, right? And you're near the elevator, and here it comes. Oh, where'd the weekend go? Where'd the weekend go? Where'd the weekend go?
Yes. It's like, right.
I don't know.
There's 7 days, and those people are not going to be happy if they're just living for Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying wake up Monday morning and just be like, yay, but like, you start that way, you say those negative things, and what do you expect that to happen? So for me, like, that's why I always have to throw things on the calendar, because I love having things to look forward to. It just can't, because sometimes to me the anticipation is better than the actual event.
100%.
So
100%.
But thank you guys for joining us this evening for the Around the Ballpark podcast. Check out tomorrow, where you can check out our latest installment where we learn a little bit about the World Cup on Let's Chat. So you definitely want to check that video out tomorrow. And as we mentioned at the start of the podcast, sometime this weekend, be on the lookout for a special video from the daytime tour. No, it's not going to be scary, because it's going to be during the day. It's going to be, nice and sunny out. But check us out at the Petrified Forest in Altamont Springs. Looking forward to that as kind of the first sneak peek into spooky season. Of course, I finally had my first pumpkin spiced coffee this morning, so that was
very good. Cool.
It's been a long time coming. So I've kind of 7 Brew, I believe was doing this special. I don't know if you have a 7 Brew by you, but like you get 2 coffees and a free football. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, I like that.
But yep. So, but thank you guys. If you watch this after the fact, leave us a comment. Let us know you were here and what you'd like to hear about in our let's chat sessions. We'd like to kind of keep that open-ended, and it doesn't have to be sports related. So looking forward to that. But Darren, we will see each other again. Now I did want to just a programming note here live on the air. The next time you will see the 2 of us together will probably be a week from is going actually, let me say it this way. The next time the 2 of us together are live may be a different date than the normal days. I have a rehearsal dinner on Thursday and a wedding on Sunday, which are the 2 days that we do this. So we'll be posting out there. You'll see us together soon again, but we'll have to just change the date up for this week because of the wedding that we're going to. So we'll keep you posted, but we'll be live once again. Darren, any final thoughts?
Just love what we do, and everybody have a great week and anticipate a wonderful week and enjoy your Monday, everyone.
Yes, enjoy it because you'll never get another Monday of September 8th, 2025 ever again. So until next time, we'll see you around the ballpark. Bye, guys.